First thing to do is to loosen the nuts before you get the tire off the ground. Get the car jacked up. You want some good support, so you get a good solid spot on the chassis to jack it up. And then we're going to put the jack stands under it. Be sure you get enough height to get some working room for what you're trying to do. Got some pretty tall jack stands, so we can get some lift. Got a nice 3-ton hydraulic jack, so getting it jacked up is pretty easy. Plus I have the wheels chopped off on the front and the back. We get these jack stands in a good spot where they can get some good support. Then we lower it down. Now you can take the wheel off, take all the bolts off, and remove the wheel. I like to keep some gloves on just to keep my hands clean, and also when your car is hot, you won't get burned. I always put the tools I need in some place I can get to them where they won't roll away, all the bolts. Always use that tire as something to sit on when I'm working under here. It's a good place to rest. I just did a recent replacement of the struts. As you can see, those are new struts under there. Fairly new. It's a couple weeks old. Just put them on there. Also replaced the hub bearings. See, that's a new hub bolt on there, spindle bolt I mean. Wish I'd gotten a video of that, but that was a long, hard process for me. Didn't have all the correct tools, so it took a little bit longer. Had to rent some. So getting the correct tools is key to these kind of repairs. Here's a piece that I'm gonna be taking off right here and right down here. This one is damaged. I know that because it keeps making a knocking sound. And when I did the replacement of the strut, they didn't have the parts in. I had to order them, so I didn't get to do it the same day I did the struts. I was unaware of it, but once I got it off, I found out that it was bad, and it was what was causing the knocking on my vehicle. So had to order it. Been waiting for the weather to get a little bit better, so now I'm going to do this. As you see, these need an Allen head wrench, and it works best if you got an open end socket. That's on both ends, down on the bottom and up here. So it takes a little bit to break this off. So I'm going to bring it off and I'm going to unbolt it. This is not a big major job, but you know, we'll let you see the beginning and the end of it once it's replaced, and I'll show you the bad connection in the sway bar link. Here I'm using a 7/32 Allen head. and a 17 millimeter ratchet wrench. Okay, so these babies are under a little tension, so I'm gonna jack it up a little bit underneath the control arm and get some of that tension off of them so I can remove it. And as you see now, that baby just comes right out. Okay, they provided new bolting hardware, so I'll definitely be using the new bolting hardware. And I'm going to show you how I know this one's bad. Here's a bad one. And look at that. Look how easy it moves around. This end's a little stiffer, but the other end, look at that. Just no resistance whatsoever. And here's the new one. Here's the new one right here. I can't push this. It's nice and tight. How I found out it was this sway bar link, I was just hitting all kinds of bumps, and every time I hit a bump, I would hear knocking. It's just driving me crazy. But now I'm going to put the new one back in. Here we got it loose down there and loose right there. New one goes back in. It should go back in pretty easily. Okay, I've set one in down there and trying to line up the top one. You see I got the nut on there just to hold it in place. Up here, the bolt is a little high, so what I'm going to have to do is jack up the arm until the arm reaches the height that I can put it in that hole, and then we'll just slide it right in and put the nut on. Tighten it up a little bit, and then once we tighten it up, we'll let the jack from under it. One thing I didn't show, you got this ABS cable that runs over here, and you want to make sure that your strut is inside that cable. I almost messed that up. I didn't have it on the inside at first. Luckily I did it before I got everything lined up. But now I got the sway bar link inside of the ABS cable, and now I will jack it up until we get to the right height. Okay, a couple of pumps on that hydraulic jack. It's lined up, it's in there. I'm going to take my ratchet wrench, tighten them down before I let the pressure off, and that way all we have to do is torque them down at the end. Well, it looks like my new bolts from AutoZone Duralast that they gave me, they're 19 millimeter, I'm sorry, a 19 millimeter ratchet head wrench. Okay, here's the new sway bar link. I've lowered it from the hydraulic jack. Everything's in place, got it all nice and tight. These are some type of a locking type nut because they kind of bind as you screw them on, so there's no washers or anything with them, so you just get them good and tight. It's usually just a good tight snug fit. You don't want to over tighten them. Then you put the wheel on, do the same thing on the other side. Thanks a lot.